I'm Michael Lemire, and this is Verified. Yesterday we reported on children in immigration detention centers. Now this all started June 17th when a judge allowed a few lawyers to visit one of the facilities, the Clint facility, which is the largest in Texas. Now when these attorneys went, what they seen, one person who was a doctor described it as a torture facility. Every child, she said, had some trauma to them. There was no soap, no toothbrushes, sleeping on concrete floors, no diapers. Someone said they haven't washed their hands in weeks, and these are children. So we have an update. In that facility, 300 children, as of last night, were transferred out of that facility in Clint. Now, they all went to different facilities, mostly relocated, some child shelters, some will be reunited with their families in the U.S. Now, an unknown number was sent to a temporary tent facility in El Paso, Texas. That was last night. Now, this morning, we got another update saying 100 were sent back. So 300 gone last night, 100 sent back. People can't describe what's going on. Now, this is complete chaos. Yesterday at the White House, Alex Azar, and Alex Azar is the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. He tried to explain at the White House in a press conference what's going on. Let's listen to what he said.
We are full right now. We are full. We do not have capacity for more of these unaccompanied children who come across the border. And that what happens is they get backed up there at the Department of Homeland Security's facilities because I can't put someone in a bed that does not exist in our shelters. And we're working at historic levels of placing kids. We want to have 0 kids in our care. There seems to be a real misunderstanding about that. It's quite expensive. Probably you asked about the date. It depends, obviously, on the spending rate, but at some point in early July, we're going to probably be out of money, and that's why Congress has got to act now. We got to get the House and Senate to just pass a unified package as quickly as possible. This is not political. This isn't about immigration policy. This is just about getting these kids cared for, getting it funded, and moving on.
Now, this guy just said it's very expensive. Expensive. We're asking for toothbrushes, not for every child to have a laptop. We're asking for soap. We're asking for pillows and blankets. Just sounds like pure excuses. Now, if that's not chaotic enough, Acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner John Sanders officially resigned this morning. They announced it. He's been in that position 2 months. He's already resigning. It takes place July 5th. Now, as you can see, in America with immigration, it's chaotic. It's not just America. In Mexico. Now, recently, Mexico has deployed almost 15,000 soldiers and National Guard to guard the border. Now, this isn't normal, having people who are trained in combat guarding and doing border patrol, but they're saying it's extreme circumstances, very extreme right now, so they have to take extreme measures. Now, when it comes to crossing the border, it's 3 main countries that people come from the most. Those 3 are Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Mexican Secretary of Defense Luis Crescencio Sandoval quoted as saying, "In the northern part of the country, we have a total deployment of 14,000, almost 15,000 units between the National Guard and the Army. If we left it completely in the hands of the National Institute of Migration, it wouldn't be possible. That's why we're providing support. It's a strategy being pursued on both borders." Now, he's calling it a strategy. Others are saying they're just bending out of fear for Trump and his tariffs. Trump has, said unapologetically that they will add tariffs to 5% of all Mexican goods if the migrant flow isn't curbed. And the tariff could eventually rise to 25%. So some people are saying Mexico is making these extreme measures because they don't want to get taxed with more tariffs. Trump is to blame again, according to a lot of people. Now, Trump's been in the news almost every day. And if you've been following it, you know the Trump administration has been going back and forth with Iran. Now, yesterday, Trump announced at the White House that they were adding sanctions on certain people in Iran. The country's already hit with so many sanctions, over 1,000. But now they're putting sanctions on the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khomeini, and other top military officials. Now, to sanction him is pretty interesting. The president of Iran, President Hassan Rouhani, is quoted as calling it outrageous and idiotic. His actual quote is, "The White House actions means it is mentally retarded." He went on to say, "Please do not think Tehran's strategic patience is weakness or fear." He also added to say, "They said they want to confiscate the leader's property. The leader owns a prayer venue and a simple house. Our leaders are not like leaders of other countries who have billions of money on foreign accounts that you could appropriate." So, by adding sanctions to the supreme leader, they're pretty much saying, and other military officials, if you have assets, financial assets in other countries and U.S. jurisdiction, it is now not available. But he's saying we don't do stuff like that. So what you did is pretty much retarded. You probably knew that. Now, on top of that, the Iranian foreign minister's spokesperson said via Twitter, permanent closure of the path of diplomacy, meaning Iran is done talking. Now, Trump then went to Twitter today, and he tweeted, "Iran's very ignorant and insulting statement put out today only shows that they do not understand reality. Any attack by Iran on anything American will be met with great and overwhelming force. In some areas, overwhelming will mean obliteration. No more John Kerry and Obama." This guy is obsessed with Obama. What is he talking about? But that's Trump. So this is going to continue to go back and forth. This is heated up. Iran is saying they're done talking. Trump is saying you do one more thing, obliteration. So we have to continue to monitor this closely. What do you all think about this back and forth? Let us know your thoughts. Comment below. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and tune in every day. Till next time, I'm Michael Amir, and this is Verified.